Hey, David.
Hello.
Hey, where are you calling from?
Actually, right now I'm in Phuket, Thailand.
In Thailand. Weren't
Yeah.
you like always in Hong Kong?
uh, I'm taking a short pre-Black Friday working from the beach break, even though I didn't touch the beach for the past 3 days because I've been really busy for organizing Black Friday promotions and so on. So I'm really looking forward for the day after tomorrow to be done with everything, and then I'll probably go to the beach. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Then,
technically I am based in Hong Kong. Technically.
all right. So, how come are you in Hong Kong? Is that related to business? Like, is that a business decision?
Yeah. So. I actually started my journey in mainland China in Shenzhen. Me and you met in Guangzhou actually. That
All right.
it's Guangzhou is also a very good place for Amazon sellers, but I would say Shenzhen is where the hardcore stays. So I was working with two really big Amazon sellers. One of them being Sun Valley Tech. Do you know them? They're
I've
the
heard the name, but I no, it doesn't.
Yeah, so they own RAV Power, Tautronics, Hutu, Vava, other top sellers brands at Amazon.com. They are some of the top 10, top 5, I don't remember right now, Amazon sellers from China. So
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I was coming from a digital marketing background, and then that was 5 years ago. And after those 2 years of working with some Chinese Amazon sellers in Shenzhen, then I said, okay, let's move into Hong Kong. So why Hong Kong? Because living condition. I mean, let's not look at what's happening right now, but yeah, so far so good. I would say it's much better if you're trying to establish some international business because it's much easier and faster to get payments from abroad. And I already made the clear decision that my consulting business wouldn't just focus on Chinese clients, but on any kind of client, anywhere in the world. And that's also what I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm in Thailand. I could work back from Italy or from Hong Kong or from Lithuania, whatever. So
Yeah.
I think that this is the scope for many of us who are doing this. Online business, whether it's selling or providing a service or consulting.
Hmm. This is interesting that you're in Hong Kong. I love that. But isn't when you have a company in Hong Kong, don't you get everything in Hong Kong dollars then? Like it's not
No,
you have
no,
US dollar
this is
account?
Yeah, actually, with Hong Kong, it's so easy to get a multi-currency account.
Oh, cool.
Um, it is not easy to open a bank account in Hong Kong, and especially now. I mean, good luck if you can do that. They are very strict now with regulations with money getting in and out of Hong Kong, and it was already a lot hard 3 years ago compared to, for example, 5 years ago. So it's getting harder and harder and harder. I opened my corporate bank account eventually after more or less 6 months that I was operating my business with my personal bank account in Hong Kong. And you can get any currency in the world. You can even keep foreign currency in your bank account in Hong Kong. You can keep it there and then use it whenever you want. So and you can also pay in different currencies. I only seen some problems paying in mainland China. Like it's very curious, but I would say it's very good for the rest.
Hmm. I've heard of Hong Kong companies being good options for digital nomads. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm not the only one who's doing consulting business and has a company registered in Hong Kong. It is very good if you're a digital nomad. Why? Because actually here I want to give some good advices to people who are looking into doing some international business like us. And the beauty of Hong Kong is that well, it is getting more strict to even open the bank account, open the company, but it used to be not super easy, but still, I mean, you can do that. You don't have a lot of requirement in terms of initial capital invested. It can be also the first company that you open. That's my case. I am in the process of opening new companies, but the one in Hong Kong was the first one. Of course, you have to do everything following the rules. Present your business plan, and you have to stay in Hong Kong. So this is also what I had to do uh, because pretty much what you want to do is you want to do everything, under the local regulations. So you would have to get eventually a visa, and that requires you to spend a certain amount of time in Hong Kong, and that means money because it's very expensive. Actually, right now it's not that expensive anymore. So I think now could be a good time to try to see an opportunity. I actually know one of my friends. She's not doing international business. International, e-commerce or online. She's opening a Korean restaurant in Hong Kong, and right now is the best time to actually sign for a rental agreement, because the price of the real estate is definitely going down for the rent. So this is something to consider actually if you're looking into being a digital nomad. It would take you some time, but honestly, it's all good after you've been doing this for a while, and you pay your taxes, you're fine. Getting money in and out is completely easy. It depends a little bit on the situation, but I think it's one of the best places in the world if you really want to do things properly, having a company and being still at the same time a digital nomad, having an agency like I do and being able to travel in and out.
Is there any tax benefits of having a Hong Kong company?
Yeah, so the taxation, if you're a resident in Hong Kong, is around 16.5% technically. But they have been taking this down to 8.5 for the first 2 million Hong Kong dollars that you do in profit. That is pretty much a little bit more than 200K USD. And the good thing with Hong Kong is that you can declare as company expense a broad range of expenses for your company. So it is really benefiting the final accounting because your profit isn't that higher. So it will take you a while if you're in the consulting business to get to 2 million Hong Kong dollars in profit. In sales, you can get it whenever, maybe 1 year, if you do good with your business. But in profit, that will take you a little bit of time. So you're going to pay 8.5%. And then if you're not technically resident in Hong Kong, if your company is an offshore, this means that you have another company and you're not resident in Hong Kong, you're going to pay only 6% or 6.5%, something like that.
So basically no taxes.
Pretty much, almost. I know that in other places like Dubai, they have like zero taxation, or some other places, but I didn't look into that so much because I actually had to be in Hong Kong because for my business nature, it made much more sense for me to be in Hong Kong because I was still, connected with this Chinese part of the Amazon seller community. And I still have my connections. I still go to a lot of events, like we met in Guangzhou. I just came back from a workshop in Yiwu, Zaijiang, PPC workshop with, you probably remember him, the guys from FBA, the Singaporean guys, Andy. So we've been partnered for already 2 or 3 times. I've been in Shanghai meeting Amazon. It makes sense for me to stay within this area.
Yeah, I guess once you feel like you belong to a community, it becomes nice to go to the events. Then you know at least 3 people already, and you feel comfortable. You don't have to force yourself to go out. It feels good.
Yeah. That's true.
So wait, are you an Amazon seller yourself, or
no?
Been before?
No, I only work for Amazon sellers. I take care of different range of projects but mostly I'm not an Amazon seller, and we don't take care in my consulting agency of like shipping solutions or quality check or finding a supplier. We really don't do that, or even dealing with small issues like SKUs number or model number. That's something that the seller has to deal with. I know that there is a lot of other agencies that take care of the entire Amazon scope, but normally we go for different kind of sellers who don't need that because they do it internally. It means that they are pretty much big enough to take care of that internally. So we mainly provide marketing services. It can also be for new sellers, but we do everything that has to do with listings, creation, optimization, and then research for your product, and then for your keywords, for how to market your product in the right way, and then of course starting out the campaigns, that is PPC or anything else, brand campaigns, and then we of course drive a lot of external traffic. We do a lot of translations. We do community, social media, etc., etc. So I haven't been a seller, like starting from zero, like sourcing my own product. But of course, I think we all know what it takes. It's a different thing to start it. I definitely agree. And many people ask me why I don't do that. I would say I'm actually enjoying being a consultant right now, but probably later on I would look into being a seller myself. Yeah.
Cool, makes sense. And let me ask you a very random question,
Okay.
like a random one. You want? All right. Look. Okay, a question for you. So, if you're gonna start a new company right now, if you would start a new company, what color would be your logo? There's a catch.
Okay, because I see your green logo right now.
Okay, so what color would be your logo? First thing that came to mind. You can't think about it.
I don't know. I would say probably. I don't know. I would say blue because.
Blue?
Yeah, blue.
No, but what's the first thing that came to mind? It wasn't blue. Yes, it was some other color.
Well, your color came to my mind, like the green one, of course, but that's not my thing. I think it's a different approach. So my color right now is this kind of purplish, tending to the blue, right? And I have to look back on how I eventually got to that, combination of colors, and I got to that variation of color intonation. I don't even know the right word for that. Anyway, to that, wave note. But I would say that I would probably go for some blue, dark blue, maybe. I used to have another company before that wasn't officially registered. Actually, the color was green.
Okay, because okay, so here's a catch. Well, it's not a catch, it's just explanation why I asked. Because I thought definitely he's gonna say the color is red. Because if I look at your LinkedIn profile and then university red,
yeah, that's
right? University red. Then let's scroll up and then wait, where's your work experience? So here's founder director, now is like a purple. I see all your answers were kind of like relating to the places you worked at, right? And that's, I guess, it grows from that. I always check people's, how to say, paths, where you like, because I feel like you are in a 3 years. See, every time I look at the LinkedIn profile, I sort of see the path that it took. 3 years, 1 year, 1 year, 8 months, 1 year. That's a total entrepreneur profile, 1 year, not sticking with anything longer than 1 to 3 years. And now it's been 3 years and 2 months. So it's about to happen, something new, something awesome. That's what I'm asking, what's going to be the new thing?
Well, okay, the new thing actually, to me personally, is that we are expanding already in Korea. So we are launching. I just didn't put the LinkedIn page yet because I was too busy with the Black Friday. But
so you are launching something.
Yeah. It's nothing different in terms of services that we provide or nature of the business. It's just a different market that I believe is a very good market, and we have seen some good results. So maybe if my partner June, hey June, he will listen to this, recording podcast later. He can confirm. So what we're doing, we are pretty much establishing a sister company of my first company in Hong Kong, but in Seoul. It's going to take some time, but June and I have been doing a good job already in selling one event where we had around 80 participants. We already had
in what city was the event?
In Seoul. We did a partnership with the Global Startup Seoul Center, and actually Korea, as I often say, is like China. Let's say maybe 7 years ago, when there was some kind of interest for e-commerce targeting the US, but not that many Amazon sellers. And now, I mean, look at Shenzhen. It's like, wow, everywhere. There is an event every day or every week. So in Seoul, there is a strong e-commerce culture, but it is not directly for selling abroad. It is more for the internal market, and that relates to their culture, because actually the e-commerce in Korea is very well developed. I spent already a lot of time in Korea this year, and probably this is also something new. I'm probably gonna relocate to Korea. That's very probable. I mean, I like to stay in Thailand because it's warmer, but business-wise, I think that for me, that would yeah, business-wise, it would make more sense for me to be in Korea. So we are definitely launching this new agency. My partner also comes from an agency background. He has international experience. Is fluent, actually native speaker in Korean and English. So that's what we're doing. I saw already the opportunity at the beginning of this year, and then we got in touch via a podcast because he found me and he contacted me. So yeah, if there is anyone who wants to open a business with me in another city, feel free to do.
Just reach out.
Yeah, and actually, this is also something new. We're probably going to open, me and one of my other business partner, probably another location in Europe. So we're gonna meet and finalize everything January next year. Because, I mean, you can agree with me, Paulina. This thing, this community thing, this Amazon selling is spreading like mushrooms everywhere.
Yes.
And yeah.
Not in Korea though. I mean, do you see opportunity?
We will bring the disease, definitely. Trust me.
Interesting. I like how you think. You know, you are not running towards the markets that are already so saturated with the agencies.
No.
You're actually going somewhere where is barely anyone doing that, right?
Yeah. And that's why I didn't want to stay in China.
In China is a lot of agencies?
Oh, too many. When I had my last meeting with the Amazon, so I had a meeting with the Amazon agency partner representative. She told me that in China it is saturated, and probably we don't even know that, because so those guys that me and you met in Guangzhou at the Global from Asia event, and even at Global Sources, there are probably a few foreigners, who stay in China, but the amount of Chinese agencies who don't even want to interact with us, it's a lot. It is really a lot, because there are so many sellers in China. So there is a lot of opportunities. There is a huge demand. And of course, there is a huge offer out there. And I don't know, I just wanted, I definitely like that market. It's a good opportunity, but I thought that for me it would be smarter to be in Hong Kong and target the West by showing that I had this experience with Chinese sellers. And that's actually, I mean, I don't want to do any personal branding lecture here, but that really benefited my personal branding, because I was seen as the guy who has been working in China and now lives near China, technically in China. Hong Kong is part of China. And yeah, and is trying to apply what Chinese sellers have to teach to the West, helping Western sellers. And that's how I came up with my very first article, The Secrets Behind the Success of Chinese Amazon Sellers. It's, I would say, one of the most read articles in this topic. Everything is organic. It was shared in some of the main podcasts, even Seller Station, and I had a lot of interviews. Did cooperation with Wall Street Journal and BuzzFeed and other things. So yeah, it's really interesting positioning, I would say, and definitely China it's really the core of this kind of community, let's say, of this happenings right now.
I'm so scared of Chinese sellers. I don't know. I feel this uneasy feeling when I think about them. It's not that they will just like kill us, but they tend to adopt tactics that are, in those zones which I don't go into. And
yeah,
it's so intimidating, and I guess, so what would you say that's like commonly accepted to use gray hat and black hat tactics amongst the Chinese sellers, or is there some good guys there as well?
Yeah, so this is a very interesting question that no one really directly asked me, let's say, even though I've been speaking about this for so long. So who's not using black hat in China? That's a really good question. And at a first glance, I mean, if you look at the market, from a very superficial point of view, you would say, oh, there are a few sellers who are not using black hat, or most of them are not using black hat. Black hat is only in the hand of a few people who are spreading this to others, but no one really needs to do black hat. No, this is not exactly. It is still happening. every time I open my Facebook, I see someone complaining because their inventory disappeared, or the listing hijacked and stuff like that. There's different versions of black hat and scamming that are evolving with the time as the Amazon algorithm updates. So there's still something to do. I would say that probably, a big part of them would do it. I can't see if it's everyone or not. Definitely a big part is doing. And there are definitely still agencies who teach this kind of black hat. This is confirmed not only by me, but everyone, by Amazon itself. Everyone knows that. The thing is that probably the big guys, as I said before, for different kind of services, they would take internally care of this. Also, the big guys, the big sellers, if they would do it, they would do it internally, and you will never know exactly what they do unless they are caught, just because you would never have access to this information. So, for example, I think I wrote it in the article that I wrote like 2 years ago, this one about the Chinese sellers. If they're doing something that they don't want you to know because you're a foreigner and they don't trust you, then you probably would never know, and they would have some specialized marketing department or person to take care of that. So here, of course, I'm never going to make any names, but it's been a big issue, and it's still a big issue. Also, they will get ready for Black Friday, because I was scrolling on my news and I see randomly, some of my friends on Facebook complaining on Facebook that they had like the stock disappeared or inventory disappeared. So it's still going on.
Yeah, this is scary, totally scary. So tell me, these techniques, black hat techniques, they're not just some holes in the code of Amazon that they find, but it's actually somebody internally working at Amazon on the China side, and then they are doing the magic. Like, how does it actually work?
So how do they get the information? Definitely, this. So the way you do black hat is not by cracking the code of Amazon. That pretty much is impossible to do. So, but what you can do, you can. On the black hat side, is you can know how the algorithm works, and you can manipulate it by sending the right information to Amazon, so that the algorithm will think that you are positioned in that placement or in a different placement. And we all know what is the A9 reports, is the algorithm report. A9 is the algorithm of Amazon that selects your rank, your position, etc. For example, the reports. Amazon, of course, internally makes reports based on the algorithm, based on the search results, on the keyword rank of each ASIN, that, of course, contain a lot of information. And owning that kind of report, if you're not working inside Amazon, is illegal, of course. But some way those reports have been, floating outside. Not only this, so, new updates. But the interesting thing, what is very interesting, is that once you really understand how Amazon works, you don't need any kind of report or any kind of insider information. Because here's the thing, that's really interesting. And so how does Amazon work? How does everything work? So a search engine, it works by putting on top the results that they think is the most relevant for that user at that time, right? That's how Google works, and that's also how Amazon works. But Google does it with the page, and Amazon does it with products. But it's the same thing behind. And how Amazon or Google select which one is the most relevant for you in that location at that time, based on your search history, with a lot of things, based on what you've seen before, based on your cookies, etc., or where are you located. This is regarding Google, based on the content of this website, how many backlinks they have, the authority, how many shares, etc. The same thing is done by Amazon, by seeing at how many people look for this product by searching this kind of keyword, and then adding it to the cart, compared to the other competitors, or how many people buy this product, comparing it to the competitors that has similar features. So that's how they make the algorithm. And of course, it makes sense, because if you have millions of products to show to your users, you need to have an algorithm, of course, kind of formula that ranks them in different orders. So you understand that Amazon wants you to be quickly associated by some particular keywords. So once you really understand, you don't really need to actually do anything illegal. Like, of course, that will help you, but you are understanding that you need to manipulate, you know, the certain kind of velocity of sales, add to cart, you know, frequently bought together, you know, keywords. You search for this keyword, you find it, and then you buy it. It's called search, find, buy, actually, you know, super URL, you know, this kind of thing. So it doesn't really take too much of a genius. You don't need to have actually the actual algorithm. Of course, it will help you a lot, but if you understand how to do it, you can just do, instead of black hat, you can do just growth hacking. And this is what I do with my agency. So we don't break any rule, but we just push traffic in the right way, in completely white hat way, or social proof coming from, you know, social media. So a lot of people are saying that this item is good by looking for those keywords, and because it's all a circle of searches and then purchases associated to the same keyword. So you are telling Amazon, you're telling Google that when you're looking for, I don't know, for a gray glasses box, then you find this one, and this is the first one, this is the best one, and it converts good, and you buy it together with this, I don't know, with this remote for air condition, right. You know, blah, 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 blah. And the reviews are good, and there's a lot of questions, and then you have some social proof, you have Facebook page, you have Google page, and so on. So I would say that overall, I'm already talking about a lot of things probably, but the general rule for me is, if you really want to crash it on Amazon, just do a smart marketing. That this is even what your teacher at the marketing course at the university taught you. Like, just think about the product, the placement, people who buy it, the price, blah, 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 whatever, the 4 P's of Kotler. So if you do a good marketing, eventually you're going to have a good success, and you don't need to break the rule, and you will probably not have your account suspended if they catch you. But yeah, so to summarize, you know, I think I'm probably even not even waiting for you to ask me this question. To summarize, like, black hat is for those who are looking into getting rich or making sales in the short term, without spending too much time and effort. And that somehow goes together with the mindset of our friends from China, because they would just do whatever they can to, I'm not saying all of them, but a big part of them, to get in the highest position as soon as they can. And if they have to pay a price for that, that would probably mean getting the account suspended or one of the accounts suspended. That's okay.
Yeah, more than one account is also something that I'm scared of, and they just have these hundreds of accounts, all these tactics. So, okay, because you know a lot, you are right next to them, and you are like in those circles, and you know what exact black hat techniques they're using. I guess you can then easier come up with those white hat techniques to sort of fight those off, right? So,
yeah.
So here's the question. If I come to you, and I guess it's all kinds of sellers that come to you, right? Both small and big, or is it only big sellers that you are?
No. Any kind of sellers, yeah.
Okay, so if I'm a small seller and I come to you with my new product, I don't know, whatever, and
that's good.
Whatever you had around.
Is it a running bottle? Is it a jogging bottle?
No, it's just the mug. A mug for tea. So, okay. So a question. Okay, how will you launch my product? Like, what should I do? It's not enough to just post the listing, right? So I have to do something else. Like, you as an agency, will you be able to help me with that part, or is it later in the stages?
So this is a very, very tricky question, because that's where it's a yes or no decision for me and for the client to cooperate with me. I can tell you a very recent launch of products that we're doing right now with one of my new clients. I can just tell you the industry, but of course, I'm not going to tell you the name. So, and this industry, it's very saturated, this category. So I thought, oh my God, it's not going to work, but we'll still do it because we had a good negotiation. They seem super cool. I actually like their brand. I mean, I would buy it immediately. I would ask them to ship some to me when I'm back in Italy or in Hong Kong. So they're selling they're selling supplements, right? And they actually launched the product a little bit before, but I think that they didn't get the traction that they were looking for. So they asked for our help. And what we're doing is we are, of course, the answer is yes for this kind of client, because they have a lot to play around and they have a good brand. So if you are, as a small seller, I would tell you, try to avoid a very busy category, at least at the beginning. And also especially if you have a very low price item. So their supplements are not cheap, and that's something good. That's helping the launch, and their brand is very well recognized. So what we did before we do the marketing research, what we found is that people were actually looking for them already, both on Amazon and on Google. So this is really the best thing that can happen to you as an Amazon seller, when you already have your own presence online, that of course it takes you a year to build, and a lot of budget and investment and a lot of community work. So they were selling in another country before, and now we opened the US market on Amazon. So then there is a lot of low-hanging fruits that you should take advantage of as a seller. So for example, for us, I figure out that, okay, if people are already looking for this, we just need to do something very smart, that is use the very good graphics that they have already, and put them into the US market and see how is the response, for example, with some Facebook ads. And we're already starting to get some traction. We started the ads actually a few days ago. We re-optimize all the listings. And yeah, with this kind of category, it's a little bit tricky, because if you use some words, Amazon will suspend your listing. So then you have to get back and, go through all the pain with Amazon support. But that went well. And then the lowest hanging fruit was doing PPC. And this is something that every seller should do, especially those sellers who have a good brand, targeting your own brand name. Because what happens is, if you're not targeting your own brand name, let's say whatever brand name this is a tiger balm.
You have interesting things around you.
Yeah, okay. I know. It's very good. I'm going to advertise it now. It's really good for your nose and for your breathing and for pain relief. If you do activity, like physical activity, it release the pain on your muscle. Anyway, if you want to advertise this, and the brand of this tiger balm is whatever, I don't know, let's call it Tiger Balm, blah blah blah, then you use your brand name, blah blah blah, and then Tiger Balm and all the associated keywords that you probably have found on your research to your competitors and to your own content. And this campaign, for example, these campaigns that we did for them are really good results, very, very low ACOS, and very good sales. So this is already a good start, but that's a different case. So in most of the case, if you're a new seller and you don't have that big brand, then working with an agency might be complicated, unless you have, of course, some budget to spare. Because, I think that, of course, you have different levels of agencies out there. So you can probably look around, shop around, find which one is the best for you. I have found right now for myself, for my own agency, not the best kind of corporations with the smaller seller, just because you have to stay online with the same kind of pricing and projects that you do for the other sellers. And most of my sellers are quite big now. We're talking about 8-figure sellers. So it wouldn't really make sense unless I would expand my agency, that then I can get everyone inside and offer very different kind of solutions. But I would say that for a new seller, definitely if you want to launch, you can work with an agency. Try to find the best agency for you. Try to negotiate a good price. Try to understand that it's an investment for you. And selling on Amazon today is not as easy as it was before, but still you can make much more money than you were making before, because the overall yearly revenue of Amazon third-party sellers is just dramatically increasing. It's almost $300 billion for the prediction for this year. So as somebody said, or I don't know if it was me or someone else, but anyway, the cake, you're getting, let's see this as a cake, right? So you're getting a smaller piece of the cake because there's a lot of competitors, but the cake itself is much bigger than it's ever been. So it's I would say this way. And still, the same rules apply also for the new seller. So don't try to do your launch just launching the product, but do your research. See what are your low hanging fruits. See what is your best pricing point. I really like your presentation for the price.
Right. The
Really hoping
pricing
some
strategies.
ideas to me. Yeah, so that's really important. I also do it sometimes, sometimes changing a little bit the price, see if it increases or decreases sales after a few days, and then trying to keep the best point. So I think that all of this research before actually launching the product is very important, because it will save you to not waste. It will save you from wasting a big budget if you would do some mistakes.
Okay. So basically, if I'm a small seller, probably I can't afford any apps yet, and probably can't afford the agency yet also. But I could start with a strong PPC, right, in the beginning, and
No, I
use it.
think the apps, you can still afford them. I mean, if we're talking about Helium 10 or Django Scout, you can definitely afford them. You can probably not afford a an agency fee that is, above $2,000 or $3,000. Let's say this, okay, per month, because an agency wants to stay with you at least 3 to 6 months. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for them to start cooperating with you. In the good scenario, they want to stay with you at least for a year. So you have to give them at least a budget of 12,000. So 10,000 for the agency plus the ad spend. The ad spend, should be, I don't know, if you're really small, you should at least consider 1,000 per month. That's, not really enough, because with 1,000 and you have, let's say, a 30% ACOS, and that means you're really good. You're a magician with your PPC if you just started, or you have a very good product, then you would sell 3,000, but still, plus the organic sales, then you would go probably to 6,000 or 7,000, I don't know, or maybe even less. It really depends on a lot of things, because everything depends on your category, on your product, on your profits margin, on your gross sales, on the seasonality, and on a lot of things. So if you're a seller, start right now. If you want to sell on Amazon, build your brand at the same time, do the right communication, use the right apps in a smart way, and put a lot of effort into research. And also sometimes you don't want to see too much profit, because the more profit you make, probably the less rank you will have. But it still depends, because it's well known that if you want to be on the top page, it's going to cost you a little bit. So, or you just want to focus on the profit, and you don't really care about the rank. And that's what others, very smart sellers who've been there for a long time, are doing. And I definitely agree. I mean, if I would launch tomorrow my product, I would definitely do like that. I would start with the product that is not easily hijackable, let's say. So it's a higher price. It has a kind of exclusiveness, and it's probably not made in China, or it has different kind of supplier sources. So it's very hard to imitate, and it's definitely not cheap. And I'm not looking for the first page. I'm not looking for the top BSR, so bestseller rank. I'm looking for a nice spot where I still have those 10, 20, 15, 30 sales a day, but every sales give me those, $10, $20. So it's just to start with, and then adding more products. Don't forget, as a new seller, you have to add more products. If you have a shop with one product, it doesn't look trustworthy. It doesn't look worth it. It looks like you just started today. That is probably the truth. So, yeah, appear as a big seller. I think you shouldn't start with one product. I know some good sellers with one product. They had very good, successful, experience in Amazon, but they started like 5 years ago, and they even exit right now. I mean, you can still do that, but it's going to be hard, because what you want to do is, if you have different products, you can upsell different products. You can mutually give mutual benefit to your different agents with customer search terms and even PPC, and you can relink to other products. You can use more of your, let's say, listing real estate and space on the screen. So it just helps you.
It's interesting. Let me just take a look at the trend. So trends, because someone's been telling me that like Amazon FBA is getting less of interest these days. Let's see, is it actually true? So it's interesting, that okay, so the gold rush was sort of in 2015. I guess if we are looking maybe at more data, like, okay, so yeah, the 2015 is that when most sellers joined, and then and now it's still a little. So what happened here in November last year? I don't know. People were going to doing
it's
something
easy.
else.
There's a very easy explanation, and look for the Amazon stock value on Google. Look for Amazon stock, and you will see that it goes down. Do 5 years maximum. You see that? In October, it goes down. 2018.
Wait, I didn't. Okay, so here. Okay, February.
2016, 2018. Does it go down in end of 2018? 2018, because that's where the interest goes down, right? Yeah. See the minimum. What is this? 2018.
April.
Go to the minimum peak. No, later. After that.
This one.
After. Yeah, you see.
December.
So end of 2000. Yeah, go even before it started decreasing in October, right?
It is interesting.
November.
So what are you saying? Like these are related?
Of course they're related.
Like how I'm not Googling Amazon stock before I decide to become a seller. Like how is this related?
Why? Okay, look at the Wall Street Journal. Look for this title. This Wall Street Journal Amazon sellers. Look also on the Google search. Amazon sellers manipulating. Okay, look for that. House Commerce. All right, when that was published, December 17, and then the one go down 2018. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, there is the publishing date there, 2017. Then there is July, House Sellers. So what happened here? Do you know what happened here?
No.
This is some of the articles that actually indirectly contributed to rights. So this is just the Wall Street Journal that you're looking at, but of course there is a lot of other newspapers and digital magazines talking about that. So the Wall Street Journal was just one of the main, and then many others were talking about the black hat on Amazon. So I deeply believe that this is related to the public opinion that people and sellers have of Amazon. So everything is strictly related, because the less people look for Amazon or trust Amazon because they see, wow, there's a lot of scam, there is a lot of fake reviews. We shouldn't. Oh, there is, by the way, Howard Tai in this video also. I think.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, he is there. I have contributed for.
Oh, there he is. Howard.
So the guy on the left. This is another guy, Mehir. He didn't come to the last event, but he's always there. He's also a speaker. This guy that you just saw with the glasses is the writer, and is my friend John. So everything is related. What happened? Amazon right now is being in Italy we say in the eye of the cyclone, of the typhoon, because everyone is talking about black hat, of this manipulation. So the stock value and probably the interest of selling on Amazon has been going down if you go back on the trend, because people were scared. People didn't think that selling on Amazon was as easy as it was before. So yeah, starting from October 2018, we had this big, movement of being scared of selling on Amazon because they thought, okay, there is too much black hat. I'm not going to make it. I am too small. I better look somewhere else, or I better save my money. And I know this guy who has lost a lot of money selling on Amazon. He got attacked by Chinese, blah, 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 etc. So this is what happened. At the same time, people sell their Amazon stock because they think that Amazon is not going to make it with so much, scammers from China and black hat, etc., etc. So it's all related.
You know that Nike also pulled out, right, recently. So I was
from Amazon.
I'm just interested how the trend goes. Of course, Amazon will be strong for many years. It's just interesting that Amazon FBA trend is sort of flatlining so early. I wouldn't have expected.
No, I don't. I don't think it's going down. I think it's just part of the natural of the natural trend.
Okay.
It is nothing to worry about, and there is definitely a lot more sellers coming. This is something sure. Those sellers who abandoned the Amazon FBA ship are probably those who didn't truly believe in that, or those who didn't really know what they were doing and they got scared and they say, okay, there is too much competition, I'm not going to make it, because they didn't know what they were facing. But if you keep yourself updated, if you join events and webinars like this, you follow the news, you get the new newsletters, you see that actually you can make it. You have a much better opportunity now than 5 years ago because you can sell more. It's not easier, definitely, but that's a good thing, because those who are not serious about that, a part of them, they would be scared away, and that's okay. But definitely, if you will look into Amazon FBA in a few months, or I think that the curve will follow the stock trend, and then it will go up again. Yeah, here's another tip. If you're into trading stocks, it's a really good thing to trade Amazon stocks, because when are you gonna publish this webinar?
In a few weeks, 2 weeks from now.
In a few weeks. Okay, so let's do this test. Today is November 27.
Yes.
And I'm sure by November 29, Amazon stock, the value will go up again, because it's Black Friday. Because everyone is going to talk about Black Friday, how much Amazon sold on Black Friday, blah, 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 how many millions, that it's been surpassing even the Prime Day and whatever of the last day.
Okay.
So the past Prime Day surpassed in terms of sales Black Friday and Cyber Monday combined of last year. So I believe that this Black Friday and Cyber Monday would be even better than the recently passed Prime Day, and of course it will be much better than the past year. So the stocks will go up because journals will talk about that, and people will buy the stock, the gold rush, and then it will go down again because some other journal will talk how bad Amazon is because they're letting so many black hat scammers. So the stock always fluctuates, and if you're into this business, you can make I think you can make good money by trading the stocks, because you can predict where this is going to go. So that's one of my little hobbies.
Interesting. So I have a question for you now. If people want to contact you to work with you, how can they do that? Where can they reach out?
Yeah, so you can reach me out on LinkedIn. You just showed it. Just search for my name, Davide Nicolucci, or just visit my website, WeAreGrowthHack.com.
I think I have it here. WeAreGrowthHack.com. Okay. Why is it called WeAreGrowthHack?
Because Growth Hack was not available.
Okay.
Of course. Then I thought about Growth Hack Consulting Hong Kong was too long. It was a little bit boring. And then I thought, okay, it sounds more like a community, like we're doing something cool, So I thought that's a cool name. But my company name is Growth Hack Consulting Ltd HK. So it's definitely 100% based in Hong Kong, but operating worldwide. I should definitely re-update my website. I'm so sorry to say this. I have to put more testimonials and more information. I have to update those numbers that you're scrolling. I have to update some of the partners. I have to put your logo there somewhere.
Yeah, my logo can be there as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Sources is here. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So to get in touch, you just fill out this form, right?
Yes, yeah. Or you just send me an email, info. So info is going to go to my guys, or you can directly contact me personally, Davide with an E at WeAreGrowthHack.com. There's even my WeChat, my personal WeChat on the website. So if you play with the website, and if you go to the contact page, you will find my WeChat, my company WeChat, the contact form, email, you can find everything, telephone number. So it's very easy to get in touch with me.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for coming to my show. It's been a lot of value, a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks to you for calling me. I really hope that, somebody will benefit of this, and I just wish you all the best, and let's keep in touch.
Thanks.